and gentlemen, on the Newshour tonight, debate number one, Nyay catching up with the Gandhis after the National Herald case has a charge sheet where Sonia Gandhi is accused number one, Rahul Gandhi accused number two. Also on the Newshour tonight is appeasement caused Bengal to burn. That's the question we are asking. But first up, let's take a look at the big story. Ladies and gentlemen, Sonia and Rahul Gandhi pledged their allegiance to the Constitution of India. They fought pitched street battles to save the Constitution last elections. Rahul Gandhi marched in the Nyay Yatra and Congress called their manifesto their Nyay Patra. Ironically, it's time for the Parivar to face Nyay themselves. Sonia Gandhi has been named as accused number one and Rahul Gandhi is accused number two in Enforcement Directorate's charge sheet in the National Herald case presented to the court today. Rahul Gandhi's mentor, Sam Pitroda, also features in the list of accused. Hua to hua, I guess he will say on this one as well. Let's first break down the National Herald case and how the Gandhi duo came in possession of 76% of the shares of Young India. This is what the ED's charge sheet says. And right here, let's get you the details. In 2014, the court took cognizance of Subramaniam Swamy's complaint that was filed in 2013 when the UPA was still in power. ED probe stems from the 2014 court order, not something that the BJP government started. Criminal conspiracy by officers of AJL, Associated Journals Limited. The conspiracy was to usurp AJL's assets, the several buildings across the country worth almost 2,000 crore is what was stated at that time. Public money was converted to personal use because AICC, the Young India, purchased 90 crore loan that was given by the All India Congress Committee to Associated Journals, but Young India was incorporated as a company of mother and son, and right to recover this 90 crores was bought for just 50 lakh rupees. Now that's great mathematics and great business. Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi together held 76% of the shares in Young India. The other two shareholders were Motilal Vora as well as late Oscar Fernandez. Young India incorporated as a charitable firm, but no such activity took place during its entire operations. Young India took rupees 1 crore entry from a shell company called Dotex Merchandise, and this company is also being investigated as accused number 4. Attempts to stay investigations failed both at the High Court and the Supreme Court level. So what is the Congress crying about now? Ladies and gentlemen, once we've broken down all these details, it's important to tell you that all these matters have gone through several stages of the court's hearing in this. Rahul Gandhi holds a 38% stake while Sonia Gandhi held another 38% stake in Young India. However, the remaining 24%, Motilal Vora had 12%. He died in 2020. Also, Oscar Fernandez died in 2021, held the remaining 12%. Now, with the death of both these people, well, the entire 100% held by Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi now. Let's also tell you the bogus donations that the charge sheet talks about. 18.12 crore. Young Indian got bogus donations to this extent, and when tax was demanded on this, they said that this tax will not be paid, and therefore some more transactions were made in order to show this as charitable money that came in. But no charity had been done. So clearly the income tax department wanted taxes to be paid. However, bogus rents that were showed, there were no rent agreements, and there were big buildings in top locations in Mumbai, Delhi, as well as smaller cities like Lucknow as well as Patna, some of which have been attached. 750 crore worth of buildings have been attached. Also, money transferred to AJL on Congress leaders' instructions is about 38.5 crores. Money laundering is the charge that now is made by the Enforcement Directorate, and that is the big story that is being broken at this point in time. The ED also claims that AJL got ad revenue worth almost 30 crores between 2017 and 2020, and they say that some of the people who got ads printed actually got it printed because they were forced by Congress leaders to do so. So let's tell you what has happened so far in the case. The ED claims that AJL, Associated Journals Limited, which should have been bringing out a newspaper, actually has assets worth 2,000 crore in about 2014. Today, maybe around 5,000 crore current value. And of this, ED has attached 750 crore worth of property. This includes Herald House in Delhi, Mumbai, and also properties in Lucknow, Panchkula, as well as Patna. Well, the heat of the ED, as soon as it was felt by the Congress party, it lashed out that this was political vendetta that was being done by the BJP, but the BJP says that it's time for looters to pay back. Watch the war of words.
Government has started a money laundering investigation without there being any movement of money, any movement of property. I think the government by such matters is only exposing itself and its campaign of political vendetta, because there is absolutely nothing in this case.
Our leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi ji, is fighting against Modi, Amit Shah's misrule. Because of that, they had tried to silence him.
ये दिखा रहा है किस तरह से बदले की भावना से केंद्र की मोदी जी की सरकार काम कर रही है। जांच एजेंसियों के माध्यम से विपक्ष की आवाज को दबाने का प्रयास हो रहा है।
Anybody in the politics will understand consciously political opponents of the BJP being targeted by the investigative agencies.
अपने कर्मों के कर्म तो आप ही पे फूटेंगे, किसी और पे थोड़ी ना फूटेंगे। अच्छा है, अब चार्जशीट फाइल हो गई है, मामला न्यायालय में जाएगा, अपने आप को डिफेंड करें। अब तो नहीं कह सकते हैं ना कि सरकार फंसा रही।
Here on the Newshour, let's do the math and tell you what this alleged land grab by Gandhis is worth. Gandhis hold 76% of the shares as per ED. AJL's assets are worth roughly 2,000 crore worth. This means that Gandhi's alleged share of assets come to rupees 1,520 crores. But with the death and passing away of Oscar Fernandez as well as Motilal Vora, all the 2,000 crores belong to the Gandhis. And here's what ED sources also saying. Two other shareholders, Motilal Vora and Oscar Fernandez, are no more. So what happens to these 2,000 crores? And should there be tax levied on this or not? But the Congress's answer is that they will hold protests outside ED offices across the country tomorrow, because for the Congress, this is politics of vendetta and intimidation. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Motorola legitimate question that we're asking on the Newshour tonight: is Nyay catching up with the Gandhis? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the Newshour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight on the Newshour with me, Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP, in the studios. With him, Karan Verma, author, Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate in the Supreme Court, also joins the debate. With me also tonight, Mohammad Tariq Khan of the Samajwadi Party in the studio, Sanjay Hegde, senior advocate in the Supreme Court. But my first question goes to Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, supporter of the Congress, probably more than the Congress leaders themselves. Tehseen Poonawala, what's vendetta about this? It's an open-shut case of financial transactions that have not, paid tax, and the Congress party and the accused number 1 and 2 have approached High Court and Supreme Court haven't been able to get a stay. So what is vendetta in this when the process of law is taking its course? You may still finally win the case. Why protest against the constitution that is so close to Rahul Gandhi's heart?
Thank you, Navika ji, for having me on the show. I love the introduction, ma'am. Honestly, you may probably still win the case because, ma'am, everyone knows they are going to win the case. They've repeatedly got favorable orders from the Honorable High Court, Supreme Court. Yes, the investigation's not been stayed, but even during bail and other times, the High Court has repeatedly said that no offense so far seems to be made out, though the allegations are serious. But let's go to each of the issues you've raised, madam. First point. A not-for-profit company under Section 25 of the Companies Act 1956 is set up. Now it's a Section 8 company whose shareholders are Mrs. Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. Your allegations, ma'am, is that, look, through this company, they have acquired the assets of AJL. AJL's assets remain exactly where they are. It is a not-for-profit company. In fact, the constitution of the company, YI, Young Indians, very well says that it cannot, the assets of AJL cannot be moved. Now, your second thing is that, oh, the 90 crore loan was converted in only 50 lakhs. Yes, but that is the shares and the equity for YI. That does not become assets of AGL which continue to remain as it is. Therefore, my opening statement, ma'am, this is the first case perhaps in the history of the world where no asset has been transferred. Assets remain where they are. The assets cannot be sold. No money has been transferred or laundered. No money can be given to the shareholders because it's a not-for-profit company. They cannot even take dividend home. And the ED is registering a case on a private individual. There is no other agency that's registered a predicate offense, and yet the ED is going ahead and trying to find something where none exists. No problem. I'm glad they filed this charge sheet because now finally the Gandhis will get relief when this charge sheet will quash. You're right, they will have to go to the process of fire, but ultimately they will triumph because no case is made up. No case.
Well, as far as your predicate offense question is concerned, let me just read out. This matter was in the PMLA court today, and the predicate offense at point number 5 is said, it is apprised by the Learned Counsel of ED that the predicate offense wide complaint number 18/2019 under sections 403, 406, 420 read with section 120B of IPC 1860 presently under trial before the court. In Rouse Avenue Court. So the predicate offense very much exists.
May I please answer that? May I please answer
one minute.
Allow me one line. Just one line. The complaint, this complaint and this offense is based on allegations without supporting proof. ED will keep saying it has it. Where is the proof? Let me just in one line explain to your viewers. That National Herald that you show there, that building, all of them exist where they are. Neither the Gandhis can sell it, nor can they transfer it, nor can it go anywhere. If the building is lying there, nor can it go.
You know, Tehseen Poonawalla, you're a businessman. I'm not. I don't understand these transactions as well as you do, but you sound very cute because the assets are where they are, but rental is being taken. Rental is being one minute. Rental is being taken where there are no rent agreements, and that is the investigation of the ED, which is part of the charge sheet. But Shehzad Poonawalla, why protest? The whole matter is going through the process of law as stated under the constitutional framework. Why are there protests? If there is a weak case, ED will lose the case. What is the Congress so worried about?
You know, at the time when Prime Minister was Chief Minister of Gujarat, he was the only Chief Minister to be subjected to SIT investigations for 99 hours. And at that time, we know that not a single BJP Karyakarta or any member of the BJP ever protested. He submitted himself to the law. But यहाँ पर क्या है? ED का मतलब बन चुका है entitlement of dacoity, entitlement of diners. और मैं इस प्रकार से कहूँ तो कि करेंगे हम भ्रष्टाचार, बोलेंगे इसको परिवार का शिष्टाचार, कोई कार्रवाई करेंगे तो बोलेंगे ये है अत्याचार और खेलेंगे विक्टिमहुड कार्ड। मैं पूछना चाहता हूं सबसे पहले, देखिए ये केस शुरू कब हुआ था? तहसीन पूनावाला इतना कोट कर रहे हैं ना कोर्ट को और इसको 2012 में सुब्रमण्यम स्वामी has filed the petition and the court during the time of the UPA government has ordered for the investigation that to be done and the FIR to be filed, and based on the FIR filed the ED case was also filed. It was all happening during the UPA tenure. So how is it vendetta? Is the court involved in vendetta? Second stage, they go to the High Court, they go to the Supreme Court. High Court and Supreme Court with stinging remarks says that we will not give you any kind of relief. You are not above the law. You are not above any common person. You have to go and face the trial. Then they are saying that the assets have never been transferred in their name. Absolutely. But in law, there is a concept of beneficial interest in the asset. Navika, we are not fools here, or Tehseen Poonawalla is not some international court of justice lawyer that he's trying to fool all of us. The beneficial interest in these assets worth 5,000 crores was going to the Gandhi family. And by the way, there were 1,000 plus shareholders who were the freedom fighters. Why the company of Young Indian, which has only two major shareholders of 76, 80, 90%, namely Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, should take over the assets belonging to the freedom fighters? And Shanti Bhushan has complained. He has said that how come the assets and the shares were transferred and we are not even knowing this thing. Secondly, I want to ask that the courts have not given you any relief, but they say that ED and CBI are doing vendetta politics. Sir, Lalu Prasad Yadav, your ally, has got convicted 5 times. He says even then that the conviction is a matter of vendetta politics. For them, they think that the right to loot is a fundamental right. पर हमारा सोचना ये है कि लूटा है तो लौटाना पड़ेगा. Now I ask Tehseen Poonawalla one question. When was Lalu Prasad Yadav's first arrest and first case started? It started during the Congress tenure, UPA tenure. Please, sir. Yes. His first conviction took place when? 2013. Even then, Lalu Prasad Yadav and Congress say in the case of convicted criminal that look, this is a vendetta politics. Now I ask last question. Tehseen Poonawalla says ED is not fair, CBI is not fair. Tehseen Poonawalla's senior leader Ajay Makan has said Kejriwal par CBI ED ki karwai very good. Tehseen Poonawalla himself once upon a time, before he did a U-turn, had said that no, this karwai is very good. And you know, they say, Jhaki rahi bhavna jaisi Prabhu Murat dikhe tin taisi. You know why? Mulayam Singh Yadav is not a liar. Mulayam Singh Yadav ji has said that CBI was misused by Congress government. In fact, the disproportionate assets case, you know when it got closed? Under Modi ji. Under Modi ji's government, the CBI case filed by Congress against Mulayam Singh Yadav, who says it was vendetta politics, was closed. If we are doing vendetta politics, case चालू रखते, तो मुझे लगता है Tehseen Poonawalla ना technical ना political front.
May I please answer one question?
Well, no, one minute. Tehseen Poonawalla. No, there are too many one-liners that have come. Let me get in Honorable Sanjay Hegde into the debate. And Sanjay Hegde, I want to ask you, can anybody just get away by saying this is political vendetta when there is no relief from the courts? Isn't this the process of law? At the end of the day, there's a 50% chance one side will win, there's a 50% chance the other side will win. How can this be called political vendetta, number one? And number two, the question is about monetary transactions. And monetary transactions of buying and selling companies, assets, etc. Assets have not been bought, but companies have changed hands. Now, in that process, there's nothing that is not on record in terms of transaction details. Why then again is this being made into a political case rather than a case where financial dealings are being investigated?
Well, the claim of political vendetta can't be made in a court, but it can certainly be made in the court of the people. Often, people have claimed political vendetta and the people have answered later. In the emergency, you had people who were detained under Misa, under Kofipoza. You spoke about Lalu Prasad ji. Lalu Prasad ji's daughter, Misa, was named after the very law that was used to detain him during the emergency. Whether it is political vendetta or not, that the court of politics will decide. As far as the courts of law are concerned, let me just tell you that firstly, whatever the ED says is all dependent on the predicate case being proved. You cannot have a money laundering case without the predicate offense being proved. The predicate offense was based, as you said, was on a complaint of Subramaniam Swamy. Now, Mr. Swamy has been friends with several people, has been enemies with several people. So whether what he does is vendetta, not vendetta, again, that goes into the court of public opinion. I am sure that the Congress side has its own lawyers to defend it. And I'm sure that even this order has as yet only deferred taking cognizance. It has registered the ED's complaint. It has taken note of the fact that the predicate offense is being tried in another court. Therefore, it says, let us have both matters heard together, and then I will decide whether to take cognizance or not. Most of the optics which happens out here on morchas, this, that, and the other, that plays to a wider audience. It does not work in a courtroom.
Well, it doesn't work in a courtroom, but the court.
One small point. I see Sanjay ji is one of the most reputed lawyers in the country. In fact, question of vendetta is not court of political opinion, it is court of legal opinion. Why? 14 parties led by even more senior lawyer, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, approached the Supreme Court saying, "Hum 14 party aa rahe hain, there is political vendetta in the use of ED CBI." It was thrown away unceremoniously. So there was no legal fact. Ishkaran Bhandari will bail me out. Second point. Now coming to the political point, because Mr. Sanjay Hegde is a senior lawyer. Sir, 90 crores ka dendari is there with the company. No problem. Instead of taking it over for 50 lakhs, ask your dear Tehseen Poonawala, 90 crores, you could give 100 crores from the government budget to RGF. You could not give 90 crores to AJL and take away the loan of the AJL. You could not give every year 10 crore ads. And then in the last 10 years, you would have taken off all the debt on the AJL company. From government coffers, you could give Rajiv Gandhi Foundation money. You could take money from China. But 90 crore ka loan AJL company par hai, jo national paper chala rahi hai apparently. By the way, Congress has so many karyakartas, paper subscribe kara dete sir. उसी से निपट जाता लोन ना, बट आखिर और संपत्ति थी 5,000 करोड़ की संपत्ति पर, इससे 50 लाख में ले लेना है. So Tehseen Poonawala, AICC, which is a political party which doesn't pay income tax, okay, because that's the definition of donations to a political party. They gave a loan of 90 crores to AJL. AJL has to bring out a newspaper, and according to the documents, 2008 onwards, the paper was not being printed till this complaint came in. No paper was coming out. Yet 90 crores were given to them. And then Young India is incorporated, takes over for 50 lakh rupees the credit of 90 crores that we will pay back, and then Congress leaders are calling up and saying give rent and give various things to AJL, Young India. What's going on? Was Sonia Gandhi.
And may I show you in August 2022, we investigated what was happening when this matter was going on, what was happening in these buildings. I'll show you. In Lucknow, there was AJL property of National Herald where a beer shop was running. Wow. Beer shop was running. And this investigation took place in August of 2022. In Mumbai, absolutely on the main part of Mumbai downtown, there was a tall building with all corporate hoardings over there, rented out properties to all of these people and taking the rental. But you don't want to pay tax. Party will not pay tax, AJL will not pay tax, but even young Indians will not pay tax. Why do you want a special dispensation, Tehseen?
Okay. You will appreciate that a tax issue is separate from this issue. So let me just address this issue number one, because it's continuously being brought up. The 90.25 crore loan was from the Congress to AJL, an internal party decision to support a paper that that the party aligned its values and it hold dear to. Now the loan's conversion to an equity. This is a strategic move to clear AJL's debts. It's not a diversion of funds, because the very constitution of Young Indians says that the assets of AJL cannot be moved. Now to your third issue, let me come in. It's very easy to sensationalize and show there is some outlet running here. Does that outlet's rent take away from the objective of making the paper run? That's the first part. And is the rent going to the shareholders? It cannot go to the shareholders because this is
so where was that rent going? Because there were no rent agreements. Ishkaran Bhandari, you worked on the case with Subramaniam Swamy. Please answer these questions that are being raised, because neither am I a chartered accountant, nor do I have any property that I have ever rented out, nor do I understand money laundering as a lawyer does.
Navika ji, give me some time because this is a very, very simple thing to explain. They can go around in circles, but it's a documentary case. Firstly, a fact check. Tehseen said that High Court has said prima facie there is no case. That's not true. Prima facie there is a case. That is why the court summoned. That is why the High Court did not quash it. In fact, High Court had stinging observations. That is why the Supreme Court did not quash the case. There is a prima facie case. There is a trial going on. So they don't have that benefit. The second aspect now. Navika ji, any businessman watching this TV debate knows that if they are owed money by somebody, what do you do? Navika ji, tomorrow if you owe somebody owes you 1 crore rupees, what will you do? You will contact me or some other lawyer to recover it. Congress does not issue a legal notice, does not go for money recovery, does not go for winding petition, takes no means or steps known to law to recover 90 crores from AJL. The second aspect, now is Young India in the business of recovering monies? It is not. It is a special purpose vehicle set up for this transaction. If the shares had to be transferred, could Congress not transfer the shares to itself? If they can loan money, they can very well get the shares to themselves. What happens when the shares are transferred? You are taking as if Congress and Young India are synonyms. They are not. They are separate legal entities. For example, the president of Congress controls AJL if the shares are owned by Congress. The president can change. Tomorrow, Tehseen could be the president of Congress. Shehzad, I think, my friend, wanted to contest some elections. He could be an office bearer and then they would be controlling the assets. But whosoever becomes the Congress president, if it is owned by Young India, then Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi control the company. That is why this special purpose vehicle was made. The third aspect, the buildings are not sold. Why do you need to sell the building on day one? Maybe if the case hadn't come, they may have sold the buildings. Or right now, if the rents are coming, we know how the entire NGOs operate. NGOs, you fly all over the world, you create an event and you say it's been sponsored by the NGO. The beneficial interest comes to you. Your flight tickets, your hotel stays, your rentals. There are various ways where CAs take money out of Section 8 companies, which is a separate debate altogether. The fourth aspect, even the 50 lakh rupees, how did Young India have it? Even that is under investigation, that some company called Dotex gave them 1 crore loan. So even that loan amount is under investigation. The simple basic line of any businessman in India will ask, can you, just by spending 50 lakh rupees, come to acquire companies, have interest in companies worth 5,000 crores? Therein lies the answer. That is why they are being castrated in the public opinion. What's happening in court is till Supreme Court, in the predicate offense, they have got no relief.
Well said, Ishkaran Bandari. Nobody is going to, I have no friends who will lend me 1 crore. If I need a loan, I have to go to a bank and provide adequate backing to take the loan. I don't have such friends. Forget 90 crore loan which are written off at the drop of a hat in one EGM that is held. I don't have friends like that. So please, don't take that example because my credit rating is poor. But let me get it, Taran.
So whatever, no, Navika ji, 1 second, one line, Navika ji, one line, Navika ji, one line. Every viewer knows if you have even a 10 lakh dispute with a builder, you go to court to recover that money. What is this process of Young India, which is not in the business of recovering money, being given 90 crores worth of loan?
Simply because
I have gone, Navika,
simply because the four people who are shareholders of Young India are the 4 people who are decision makers of AICC, are the 4 people who run AJL. So it's one big happy family where every transaction is happening in a friendly manner. I'm coming to you, Tehseen. Hold on. I will come to you because there are other people also, and I've given you adequate time. I've given you adequate time. Hold on. I will come to you, Tehseen. Tariq Khan, what is this about Pradarshan? Lalu Yadav was declared, cases against him were during Congress time. He was convicted during Congress times. His daughter was named Misa against the Congress party's emergency. Now they are together. So, case khatam. So, the case should disappear. What is the vendetta against Lalu Prasad Yadav? What is the vendetta against Mulayam Singh Yadav? Nothing. Everything has been done by Congress. Congress aapki dost hai, but vendetta is being done by BJP. This case in UPA era, but Pradarshan will happen tomorrow in front of ED office. Is this how you will save the constitution?
I must say this is not the first time when a case or charge has been probed or given to any political leader. We have seen in past there has been many FIRs and charges to the political leaders. Now,
Conviction.
It seems to be that this charge sheet is a final verdict of the court. Means we are discussing in this manner that this charge sheet will be the final verdict of the court, and you will direct the judge that yes, just give the judgment, and Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi will not get any chance to say anything in the court. It would be a one-way all things that Shahjad Poonawalla has said all these things, and now give the verdict and he will be punished and all this. Listen, we have a system, we have a judiciary system, and they'll get the chance to respond of all the charges. And
absolutely. Why the protest tomorrow?
Ishkaran should be the advocate in that case from that side, from the side of ED.
My friend,
because you know a lot.
Why are you not answering the question of why are there? If the Congress is going to get a chance to put its case in court, why are they protesting tomorrow, Tehseen? I'm coming to you, Karan.
Yeah. So two things. Ishkaran need
Victim
to
card
very good
बहुत बड़ा
Sorry. No, but two things on a lighter note. Ishkaran is one of the complainants. Subramaniam Swamy complained he was working with Subramaniam Swamy there. So that is a fact. But on a larger issue, look, the argument is that AGL's properties.
No, that's not.
Okay, you are a lawyer. Okay, fine. Let me just come to the issue. The AGL's properties were never transferred. Okay, the AGL's properties were never transferred to Young India Limited, number one, or to the Gandhis. Who holds the titles? AGL holds the title. Please, Shahzad, transferring debt to equity is such a normal process. In fact, right now, recently, the government of India. Please, can I please make my point?
Yes, make your point.
This is so unfair. If they're going to heckle them,
make your point. I'll silence them, my friend.
Thank you.
Ye victim card, how much are you going to use it today?
Because the entire thing is a one-way thing. When we try to make legal points, we are heckled. Just allow us. In fact, now let me just end in one point. In fact, recently the government of India changed its debt. It converted its debt to Airtel Vodafone into equity. Recently it did it. Point number 2.
Navika.
Look, it's all right. Thank you. You may just continue. I'm not here for these theatrics. If you want to hear legal points,
Government of India converts something is being rule is being applied now to AJL and AICC without going through courts. But Karan Verma, please respond.
This is strange. Actually strange. You're not allowing.
No, it's wrong. Navika ji, I want to answer this.
1 minute. Poor Karan Verma, your friend wants to come in, and I'll come back to you.
I'll just read out, what Tehseen has been saying. I'll just read out what the Metropolitan Magistrate, Ms. Gomati Manoka said. She precisely addressed this question, Tehseen. She said, Young India Limited was in fact created as a sham or a cloak to convert public money to personal use to acquire beneficial control of over 20 billion worth of assets of AJL. It is as clear as it gets. You are beneficial interest of these assets. How is it wrong?
The court is wrong.
To you.
The court is wrong.
If I'll explain to you. The Honorable Magistrate is wrong because the assets of AGL were never transferred to Young India or
interest. The key
word
is
if you're going to scream on everything
1 minute.
and you know
1 minute. Sanjay Hegde.
1 second.
1 minute. Sanjay Hegde. Can now people begin to say the court is wrong, the honorable judge is wrong? If we have to decide all this on a television debate, then what do we need the constitution for?
So, listen, it's not that courts are not wrong. There are appeals. But be that as it may, we are right now discussing the case. As far as the case is concerned, and I've been listening to everyone, Tehseen is putting the case that, look, the assets of the old company were taken over by a new control of the old company was taken over by a new company. The new company is a not-for-profit company. Nobody could have benefited. There have been no transactions insofar as there has been no change of the title. The beneficial interest which the BJP spokesperson alleges was it beneficial personally?
Okay.
In as much as if they can't.
Is that the case in court? Shehzad,
that's-
is that the case? And may I just, before you come in, Shehzad, may I just say what the people are really asking questions about? Jairam Ramesh says, Satyameva Jayate, then what's the worry? Why doesn't he allow truth to come out? Naresh Chandra Shukla from Hardoi says, till when will Congress keep calling it an act of revenge? Sanjay Mishra says this from Uttar Pradesh. These are the questions people are saying.
Because I have studied law, please let me explain that transferring the title of a property is different from transferring the beneficial interest in a property. They're two separate things which Tehseen perhaps is confusing. And with all due humility, Tehseen, you don't need to transfer. So for instance, this building may be owned by Times of India, right? It doesn't mean that if Times of India doesn't transfer the name of this entire building in my name, the beneficial interest in this can't be transferred. They're two separate things. What the Gandhis did, Tehseen, was they created Young India as a special purpose vehicle. By the way, how convenient that an internal decision of the Congress takes a decision to give it to Young Indians. Why not to the 1,000 original shareholders? Why to these two individuals? Okay, चलो कांग्रेस ने डिसीजन लिया तो कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट के पोस्ट को देते और कांग्रेस वाइस प्रेसिडेंट को देते एक्स ऑफिशियो बनाकर. Why Sonia and Rahul personally should get the shares in Young Indians? So Young Indians should have been headed by Congress president, whoever it may be. Today Kharge, tomorrow Tehseen, day after somebody else. But no, they gave it to two individuals. This is because the beneficial interest in the 5,000 crore worth property was given to Sonia and Rahul by giving this 50 lakhs.
Well, that's the allegation. That's the charge sheet. What happens in court, we don't know. But even before going to court, well, there are going to be protests. The last time Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi went to court was in 2015, if I'm right. That's when we were sitting and following this. And to Patiala House courts. Everybody marched only for bail at that time. And once again, is the city going to come to a standstill because the Congress is protesting against a process of law? Are they above the law? These are the questions people of India are asking. So, ladies and gentlemen, Rahul Gandhi calls himself the savior of Samvidhan. Shouldn't he then lead by example to save democracy? Instead of trying to block probity, hold nationwide protests and cast aspersions on agencies, perhaps he should join the probe and leave his fate to the wisdom of the courts? Wouldn't that strengthen democracy and the constitution after all? If this case is sans any evidence and there has been no money laundering, then surely the courts will absolve the Gandhis. Why not put their trust in the judiciary? That's the question we're asking tonight. We leave it at that. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1. On the
News Hour at 9 will be right back.